A boy came up to my doorstep and said, "Hey mom, can you re-adopt me?" I was washing dishes on a regular Tuesday afternoon when someone knocked on my door. I opened it to find a skinny kid with messy brown hair holding a folder. "Hey mom, can you re-adopt me?" he said. "I don't have any children," I said, confused. He walked right past me into my house like he owned the place. "According to these papers you do." He opened his folder on my kitchen table and spread out official-looking documents. There was a birth certificate with my name on it. Mother, Taylor Castillo. Baby boy, Brian Castillo. Born 11 years later. "My name is Brian," he said. "I live with the Prince family on Hillcrest Drive, and I'm really good at playing piano. Like scary good. I've won competitions and everything." My legs felt weak and I sat down hard in the chair. 11 years ago, I'd given up a baby for adoption. I was 19 and homeless and couldn't take care of him. I'd specifically requested a closed adoption with all my information sealed. "How did you get these?" I whispered. "My dad's a lawyer. He has connections." Brian shrugged like it was no big deal. "I went home from school today and found both my parents dead, so I figured now was a good time to find my birth mother." "What?" I jumped up from the chair. "Your parents are dead?" "Yeah, they're in their bedroom." "So can I live with you now?" "Brian, we need to call the police right now if your parents are..." But he was already running out my front door. "Come on, I'll show you." "Wait," I yelled, but he was on his bike pedaling down the street. I grabbed my keys and ran to my car. "Brian, get in the car. This is dangerous." He finally stopped and threw his bike in my trunk. "Turn left here, then go straight for like 2 miles. My mind was spinning as I drove. This kid was my son, the baby I'd cried about for 11 years. And now his adoptive parents were apparently dead, and he'd just shown up at my door like it was nothing. "Turn right at the fountain," Brian said. We pulled up to the biggest mansion I'd ever seen in real life. It looked like something from a movie with huge white columns and a circular driveway with an actual fountain in the middle. Every window was dark, even though it was only 4 in the afternoon. "Your parents live here?" I asked. "They're investment bankers. Super rich, but never home." Brian got out and started walking toward the front door. "Come on, they're upstairs." The front door was unlocked, and Brian walked in like this was totally normal. The inside was even fancier than the outside, with marble floors and a giant staircase. There were family photos everywhere showing Brian with a blonde woman and a dark-haired man. They were smiling on beaches and ski slopes and at Brian's piano recitals. "They seem like they love you," I said, looking at a photo of them at Disney World. "They do, or did. Come on, their room is up here." He led me up the stairs and down a long hallway. More family photos lined the walls. Brian's adoptive parents looked happy and normal. They looked like good parents. Brian pushed open double doors to the master bedroom. "See? They're dead." I walked in and immediately gasped. On the massive bed were 2 people, but they weren't lying normally. They both had their hands wrapped around each other's necks. Their faces were purple and their eyes were closed. "Oh my God," I said, rushing over. I touched the woman's wrist, checking for a pulse. Her skin was warm and I felt a heartbeat. Then I checked the man. He was breathing too. "Brian, they're not dead. They're still alive. Call 911 right now." Brian pulled out an iPhone and dialed while I tried to separate their hands from each other's throats. They were unconscious, but their grips were locked tight. "My parents are unconscious and they're choking each other," Brian said to the operator. He gave them the address while I managed to pry the woman's hands off the man's neck. The paramedics arrived in less than 10 minutes. They rushed in with oxygen masks and started working on Brian's parents. One of them found something on the nightstand that made him shake his head. "Looks like autoerotic asphyxiation gone wrong," he said to his partner. They both passed out before they could let go. Brian looked at me confused. "What's that mean?" "It means your parents are freaks."